Good morning, gamers. Welcome back. I am the AMDM Lee. This is my cup of coffee, and you're watching Behind the Screen. The nectar of the gods. Alright. So, on this episode of Behind the Screen, I'm going to talk about something and ask other DMs that are watching this. I don't know how many of them there are. Let's face it. I know there's people watching, but I don't know who. Not all of them. I just know 2 or 3. That's all. So, we're going to talk today about bad guys. Bad guys in your campaign. The big bad guy. The BBG. So, your boss fights. Why am I going out of focus? Focus here. Oh, focus! So, the BBG. Now, there is nothing that players love more than when they're facing that big bad guy. And it is an epic fight. And it goes on. And they think they're going to lose. And they're not sure. And they keep going. And the cleric is using up all the spells. And they keep going. And they keep going. And finally, in this epic monument of power, they take down the bad guy after all of this. This awesome feeling. And they're like, woo! Yeah! There's nothing more disturbing than when you throw it on the third round and the player crits and kills your bad guy. As a DM, you feel like, oh, that didn't go quite like I planned. And your players are like, oh, he was kind of weak. And it kind of takes the thunder out of the game. Now, if you have a party of min-max badasses who, everybody's got like massive scores and can take down everything you're throwing at them, sometimes making it challenging is difficult. And as a DM, I'm going to say something that some DMs, particularly those of a more modern flair, those that come up on some of the later rule sets. Now, I'm from an older rule set. I'm from a rule set that basically said DMs cheat. If you are the dungeon master, it is your role to cheat. That's why you sit behind the screen. You make it. I am the dungeon master, and that is why. That is the generation of gamers I come from. And my job is to make that story, that final boss fight. I'm not trying to kill my players. Do not get me wrong here. I am not trying to kill my players. But what I am trying to do is make them feel that their attempts are worth something. That all of this effort is worth something. And sometimes, now don't get me wrong, I'm not going to drag out a boss fight for extra hours if I'm not doing anything. I keep track of where the players are. I keep track of how their hit points are flowing. Because at a certain point, you have to go, all right, if this boss goes another round, he is going to kill everyone. I'm telling the DMs to cheat, but be smart about it. I do not always let the dice fall as they may, because it can take away from the story. I use the dice as a guideline in combat. I use my hit points as a guideline. If I do not think if in one round of combat, because I've played with up to, I think the largest table I've run has been 8 people, maybe 9. So if your bad guy goes down, if you lose initiative, your bad guy can take enough damage in one round to severely cripple him. Just flat out cripple him, especially if you're running with some powerful guys, a few barbarians, some fighters, you've got some guys that can put out some damage, and your bad guy is going to go down in a round. That's going to happen. So, how do you stop that from happening? Here's what I've done. I'll add 25 to 50 hit points. If the round is going faster than I think it should, I will add hit points. Or actually, better clarification is the players doing damage. I will write down their damage, and I will keep a running tab of how much damage they have done round per round per round. And I will add that up, and then once it reaches a certain point where it feels story-wise, where, okay, if they take this guy down here now, alright, and I'll get to a point where I'm like, alright, he's got 10 more hit points, we're going to see how this goes. This next round, he's going down, somebody's going to kill him. I will add enough hit points for that following round, and that's where I'll start my counters. I need the players to feel the thrill of accomplishment for this big bad guy. Now, I don't do this for every single combat, but for the boss fights. For those guys, I'll give you an example. In my last campaign, I ran a guy named Mosk. You've probably heard me talk about him before. He had a few abilities, lair things to get your players knocked down, things to distract them, lair actions. Love lair actions. Anyway, I had been taking this guy for months, just antagonizing the hell out of my players, and I wish my camera would focus. Antagonizing the hell out of my players with him, just taunt after taunt. So when they were ready to fight him, I wanted them to beat the shit out of this guy. But I didn't want them to do it in one round. I wanted them to work for it. And guess what? When they finally took him down, you could see this sense of accomplishment in their face of just how much of a fucking badass they were. Because they just took down this motherfucker who has been fucking with them for all this time, and my camera is starting to piss me off. So, DMs, you have permission to cheat. The inventor of the game gave you that permission. It is okay to use the rules. But as a DM, and you'll learn this over time, because your players are going to inevitably take out a bad guy or two quickly, and you just have to up the ante. You will have to adjust your bad guys. CR ratings, they're a good basis to start with. Don't expect them to be accurate. That's all I got for now, guys. I give you permission to cheat. Tell me, you that watch other GMs, do you fudge your rolls? Do you add hit points? Do you, as a DM, cheat in accordance to the rules of the game? That's all I got for now, guys. If you like these videos, please click on the like button. If you think someone else would like them, please click on the share button. Every like's an inspiration, every share is an advantage, and every subscription is an experience point. Help me reach 300 experience points so I can get to a second level. And as always, for a video that you share, the AMDM does hereby authorize you 10 experience points. So I know some of you guys are going to be leveling up soon because of that. All right, that's all I got for now. Go forth and roll some dice.